What's going on? Welcome to Make Money Moves podcast. You know, the podcast where we make money moves by making money moves. Today, we're on episode 4. And what we're going to do today, we're going to actually meet one of the insider threats that's been affecting us. And guess what? It's not who you think it is. So the purpose of this episode today is to show you that the enemy isn't an outside entity. And that's the best news you're going to hear all year. So let's get to it and start making money moves.
Pay to a check, yeah, I changed my mind. From broke to boss, now I'm on my grind. Like in my hand, I'm claiming my time. Make money moves, podcast my line. I changed from inside. Now I shine.
Welcome back. We're in episode 4 of Make Money Moves podcast. I'm your host, Al, and today we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to our heart. It may be a little bit disturbing. It may surprise you, but it's all right because it's going to make you better. We're going to actually meet the insider threat. And like I said before, it is not you. It is not you. The enemy we've been fighting isn't real. Let me start this by saying the biggest threat to your wealth is not inflation, not the economy, politicians, your job, not even the income that you bring in. Yes, those things matter, but they're not the main problem, or they're not our core issue, if you will. The real threat is internal. It's something deep inside of us. It's quiet, it's unnoticeable, it's familiar. It feels like it's the right thing to do. And that's the reason that most people never fix their finances. And that's because they keep fighting the wrong enemy. You ever heard the saying, your arm's too short to box with God? You got to blindfold yourself and you got to find someone, hit a pinata. It's hard to hit it. But today, we're going to name that exact threat that's been hindering you. And when we do, there's going to be a powerful shift that happens inside of you. Because once we realize the enemy isn't out there somewhere, but it's more so in here, I'm talking about in your heart, in your body, inside of you. You realize that you're not powerless. You got more power than you ever think. And like I said in the movie Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So it's your responsibility to manage that power effectively and efficiently. So let me ask you, why do we blame the wrong things or people? I mean, external enemies, that's what we usually blame. It feels safer to blame others. I'm pretty sure most of us have been blamed for something we didn't do. Something's our fault, whether it's in a relationship, it's at work. We get blamed for those things, or we blame somebody else or blame something else. Oh, we didn't get this promotion because of our boss. We didn't get this person because somebody's kissed butt. Somebody, they do extra stuff, or maybe it wasn't just my time, or I slipped, I got a flat tire. It's always something external in me that makes us feel safer and feel better about ourselves. It's human nature to blame those external forces. We didn't have the money to invest at that time. We don't get enough hours at work. It's not enough hours in a day. Oh, I have my kids I got to take care of. It's so many things that we can blame outside into. And like I said, that's okay, because that's human nature, is to blame an external force. Take the path of least resistance. These things feel like when we blame an external force, they feel big. They feel like they're unfair or just out of our control. We can handle it. Like inflation, the market, systems, if you will, the timing, the economy. Like, don't get me wrong, all those things are 100% real. They are. But here's the harsh truth. If external forces were the real problem, wouldn't everyone struggle the same way? But they don't. Think about that for a minute. Some people adapt. Some people build buffers and that friction so they can manage. And some people grow stronger during that chaos. So the question becomes, what's different between these people? Not intelligence, not luck, not hustle. It's how they think, how they decide and respond to those issues. And that brings us to the insider threat that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to define this inside threat. Do you want to know what the inside threat is? The enemy inside the system. Do you really want to know? Okay, look, let me break this down first and let you know what an insider threat is. An insider threat is something that's inside of us, that's threatening us, and it's not loud. It doesn't announce itself when it comes to our life. It hides behind the phrases we tell ourselves, the things we think, the socialization, the things, the habits, beliefs that we already take on. We tell ourselves, oh, that's just how it always is. Everyone does this, it's okay. Oh, I'll fix it later, I'll do it later. Once I make more money, then I'll change. I'll do this. Once I get more of this, get more time, I'll do this. Well, insider threat is made up of three main things. Those main things are: one, unquestionable habits. And those unquestionable habits are the things we didn't choose them, but we kind of inherit them. Two, these are the inherited beliefs, the things that was passed down from our environment, from our family, from those that we know, or things that we've seen. These are the things like the money stories that are passed down. There's no explanation. We just fell down, oh, how hard it is to make money. Money don't grow on trees. These different things. And then three, the emotional reaction. Our fear, comfort, avoidance, how we seek rewards. That's the threat. It don't really seem like, right? But those are the threats. And we have those threats not because we're bad people, just because we wasn't taught how to think long term. We was taught for instant gratification. We weren't taught to think for delayed gratification, to wait, to become this. Not in the money aspect. We want everything now. We hear the commercial, it's my money and I want it now. But when you wait, you get more, right?
What if shopping could earn you cash instead of just costing you? You've been stuck in a cycle, tap, swipe, spend, watching your paycheck just disappear. But one day, after you stumbled onto this app called Rakuten, you ask yourself, why am I paying full price when I don't have to? But then you think, maybe it's just another gimmick. Then one of your friends tell you about this app called Rakuten, who makes them money and gives them cash back and rewards for thousands of stores every time they make a purchase that they were made anyway. You try it once, you discover hidden deals, compare prices, and you start winning. Shopping becomes a strategy. Every tap pays you back, and you still get what you want. You share Rakuten with your friends, watch your income grow, and become more financially confident. Download the Rakuten app today and keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket.
So here's a little wisdom that cuts deep. There's a quote that captures this perfectly by Benjamin Graham. Benjamin Graham was a great investor. And he said, the investor's chief problem and their worst enemy is likely to be himself. So there's two things at once. I'm going to repeat that. The investor's chief problem and even his worst enemy is likely to be himself. Now I know that sounds harsh, it sounds a little crazy until you understand what it actually means. What Mr. Graham was saying and what he meant by this quote wasn't saying that, okay, people are stupid or reckless. He was simply saying we're emotional in a system that rewards patience, and emotions can cost us big time. If you've been trading in the market, you trade with emotion, you probably lost some money. You've been doing something, you got into an argument with somebody, you did something, you got acting emotion, you probably made a wrong mistake, or you said something based off emotion and it wasn't the thing you meant to say or how you really felt. Emotions are expensive and can cost us way more than we intended. See, smart people struggle too, so don't get it wrong. Intelligence doesn't cancel out emotion. Not at all. Because you see people that's doctors, lawyers, 6 and 7 figure earners, and they struggle just as much. This is where people get stuck. They think, oh, I'm smart, this shouldn't be happening to me. But money doesn't test your intelligence. Instead, it tests your patience, your consistency, your ability to practice delayed gratification, your emotional regulation, and your decision making under stress. Because everybody can make a decision when they're not stressed, but can you make that decision when you're under pressure? And it also tests the fact that no one taught us those skills in your decision making under pressure. And the fact that no one taught us those skills around money can be detrimental to us. So what happens because of that? Smart people like you and I, we rationalize our bad habits. We make emotional decisions, then we justify with logic. We overestimate our future discipline. What I mean by, we say, okay, I'm going to do this in the future. But when the future comes, we don't do it. We underestimate our compound damage. We think about compound interest as making money over time. But when we don't save or we don't invest now, that compound damage of not saving now costs us later on in the future a lot more than it would have if we have did what we need to do. For instance, if you in 2003, if I would have put $1,000 into silver every single month for, let's say, 12 months, I would have had 2,400 ounces of silver. 2,400. $12,000 I would have paid for that. $1,000 a month. Now fast forward to 2026, that $12,000 that I spent would now be worth almost, if not more than $285,000, with silver being at $77 an ounce right now. Now the numbers may not be correct, but it'd be over $200,000. Just think about that. Smart people, we avoid numbers to protect our identity because we don't want to look at them. Not because we're careless. No, that's not it. It's not because we're careless. It's because that awareness of these things makes us feel uncomfortable. And one of the most dangerous illusions of all is lying to ourselves and telling ourselves, oh, I'm going to do it later, or I'll fix it later. That one phrase is quietly destroying more wealth than almost anything else that we've ever thought about. Procrastinating, talking about doing it but not doing it, taking notes and not taking action. We consistently tell ourselves, oh, I'll do it later when I get more time, when I get more money. When is later? Later when what? You have when we make a higher income? Later when our stress is lower? Later when there's more time in a day? Later when there's some extra money? Later when motivation appears. But the truth of the matter is, later never shows up. It's only 24 hours in a day. We're not getting more income. We're not getting more time. There's no such thing as extra income because habits don't pause and wait until we're ready. They just compound, whether they're good or bad. And they don't announce why they're compounding. They do it silently. And then one day, boom, later becomes a regret. I should have did this. I wish I would have did this. If I would have invested $1,000 then, man, where I'll be today. Which now brings us to the point we have to ask ourselves some questions. Where does that threat live in ourselves? Now, this is the point of the podcast and the most important part of this episode. Now, I want you to remove all the distractions and just sit with these questions for one moment. Ask yourself, what money beliefs have you ever challenged? What financial patterns do you keep repeating regardless of the income that you bring in? What is it that you avoid looking at? Is it that bank account? Is it a bank statement? Is it a bill? What is it? What feels, and I say, quote, just the way it is, but actually it's not. And then let me ask you this. When money feels stressful, how do you react? How do you really respond to that? This is not to guilt trip you. This is not to make you feel bad and all. Instead, it's to help you understand how to use these things and leverage your mind, leverage what you're doing. Because once something is seen and you can see it, you can clearly see it and understand it, those threats lose their power. But the good news is internal enemies are beatable because we control that. Here's the part that most people miss. If the enemies were external, we'd be stuck waiting because now the enemy gets a vote. But because it's inside of us, we can control when, where, and how we respond to it, how we interact with it. If the enemy was external, we'll be stuck waiting on policy changes, better timing, better income, less chaos. But because those threats are internal, oh yeah, now we get the power. We have the option. We can question those habits. We can rewrite the beliefs that we was grown to believe in or took ownership of. We can slow our reactions. We can design systems to combat those threats. We can build buffers, those friction points, different rules, especially in finance. We can say, okay, I got a 24-hour rule. I won't buy anything for 24 hours, or I'll set up my money in a way that's automated so that I have money for spending. I have money for bills. I have money for investing. And we don't need permission to do that. We only need clarity. So at this point, once that's understood, we shift from blame to ownership. And here's the mindset shift that changes everything. We stop asking, who did this for me? And we start asking, what am I reinforcing? Not in shame, but in power. Ownership isn't blame. Ownership is control. Now, can you see it? This episode wasn't about any defined solution, because once you see clearly, you can now stop fighting those shadows and fight the true enemy that's within inside of us, our habits, the things that we can control. And that way we can win, because awareness is the first step in taking action. And in the next episode, we're going to be talking about why earning more often makes people poor. I know that sounds crazy, and we're going to get to it, and you're going to find out. You're going to say, aha, this is why I didn't have more money. So we're going to talk about why earning more money makes people poor, and how lifestyle inflation quietly steals decades of their time without even asking permission. Because this is where awareness can turn to that strategy that you need. I need you to do something for me. I need you to go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and comment something that really touched you and was really able to help you in this episode. Or you know someone else that this may help. Go ahead and send this video to them. And do that one thing, because the more people we have that's financially literate, the less people we have in poverty. So with that being said, let's go ahead and identify these inside threats so that they'll no longer become threats and no longer become our enemies. Because now we know how to fight them with confidence, courage, and power. So we can now make money moves by making money moves. You heard it here first. See you next time on Make Money Moves podcast, where we make money moves by making money move. Remember, don't take notes, take action. Peace.
Painted with check, yeah, I changed my mind. From broke to boss, now I'm on my grind.